I will on the Bama. Alright, first and foremost, give honor and praise to the God of Yahowah'Eloheem. Give a double honor to 7130 South Chicago. They tell me this truth. Give a double honor to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has awoken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. So we out here today, man, fishing for the elect. It's not a whole lot of people out. We're on the L station today. We're going to be out here, throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? Fishing for the elect. So let's look at some scriptures today. So this is the first chapter of the book of Isaiah, the first chapter and the second verse. It says, "Hear, O heavens, get ear, O earth, for Yah has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me." And see, that's what the nation of Israel has done. See, the nation of Israel has rebelled against the Creator. See, we're in the month of January. We just came out of December, celebrating what you would call the death and burial of what you would call the vegetation god, which is Tammuz. And see, this is the issue that our people is dealing with, is that because our people, we've been in captivity, what's that, for 2,022 years, because the new year symbolizes 2,022 years that the so-called black man has been in captivity. See? And he's going to be remaining in captivity until he returns back to his Creator. That's why the Creator is saying that what? That I have nourished up children, and they have rebelled against me. See, our ancestors, which is the natural and the spiritual seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they have rebelled against the Creator. See, before we even came over here in this captivity, we was already serving what you would call false gods. And see, and as a result of that, this is why we over here in this is why the transatlantic slave trade happened, and this is why we have been scattered throughout the four winds. So it says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yah has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children," and it says, "and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider." And see, our people don't consider the Creator. It's because, see, we think that the Creator is the God of the nation, see? And as a result of that, this is why we're being destroyed. This is why we're the last people on the totem pole, see? We don't control our neighborhoods. We don't control the economical systems in our neighborhoods. We don't control anything. It's because we're serving false gods. See, this is why our children today, this is why a young black man is growing up without fathers. See, this is why the household is broken up. It's because, see, we're still suffering from what you would call the plagues that our ancestors had brought up on us as a nation of people. See, we don't have nationality. Our nationality has been taken away from us. It's because of the rebellion and the disobedience of our ancestors. See, we're in the month of January. See, we think that January is the first of the month. But January, everything is still dead. See, everything started to bloom and start to do what? It started to grow during the first months of the springtime. But the nations around the earth, see, we dealing with January because we dealing with the false god, which is Janus, see, which is nothing but a reenactment of what you would call the god Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. See, this is what the ancestors are still doing, and this is what our people are still doing in the earth. See, we don't know the Creator. And as a result of this, this is why we're being destroyed in the streets. See, we don't control our neighborhoods. We don't control the economics. We don't control the educational system. We don't control the leadership. And we don't even control our diet. Is because we're still following after the gods of the nation. See, when we talk about nationality, when we talk about peoplehood and things in this nation, we avoid the understanding because we're still disobedient and we're still stiff-necked and hard-headed, see? That's who we are. See, this is why the young men today is killing each other over beef that's going on over in Facebook. See, it's because we have been void of understanding. So the Creator is saying what? A sinful nation and people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupted. They have forsaken the Most High. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are going away backwards. See, that's what our ancestors did before the Creator put us in slavery. See, we still see if a man don't control his own country. We have a situation called the United Nations. And the United Nations, you have all the nations around the world. They come to the Europeans and they talk about the issues that's going on with their people. See, we can't do that because we're not a nation of people. See, if you're not a nation of people, see, a nation got a nationality. They got a national flag. They got a language. They got a culture. See, they got a landmass. We don't have that. So how can a so-called Negro come to the United Nations to talk about the major issues that's going on with our people, on how we was robbed, destroyed, and pillaged as a nation of people if we don't even understand who we are as a people? And see, the reason for that is because we're still a gainsaying, hard-headed, stiff-necked people. Now, we got people like Don Lemon, he's on CNN. You know, a lot of these black liberals, they talk about all of this, the white man and all this type of stuff, but here it is, we still practice the traditions of the so-called white man. This is why we still in slavery, see? We got Don Lemon, we got all the rest of these people talking about no more broke dick, see, on national TV with young kids watching. See, but if you had an NBA player that said something like that, then what? He would be removed from television, see? But the leadership that's in our communities today, they don't care about our people. And as a result of that, we're destroyed as a people. So the Creator says what? A nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Most High. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger, and they are gone away backward. So it says, why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. And that's what's going on in our community. See, our people is sick, see? If I have an issue with an individual on Facebook, if I see this individual in the street, it's a chance that this individual may kill me. That's what happened last week at the Nordstrom's in Oak Brook. You had guys that was beefing for 2 years, and they saw each other in 2 years, and the next thing you know, guns was blazing. See, guns was blazing, and as the end result, what happened? Individual is paralyzed, and the other individual, now he's finna go to jail, see? So a lot of our people is what? We sick, see? A lot of your rappers are being killed out here in the streets is because of beef that's going on in Facebook, see? And see, these are the new leaders that's in our community that's destroying the mindset of our young kids, see? But we want to protest about Black Lives Matter. But see, Black Lives Matter has never mattered to the so-called black man. It doesn't even matter in our own communities because why? We're stricken with what? Destruction. So it says, why should ye be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. And see, one of the reasons why we still going through this is because we got the spirit of our ancestors on us. See, this is what our ancestors was doing in the land. See, we had our own land. we had our own government, we had our own structure, but because we took it on the spirit of the adversary, this is why what? This is why we don't have it anymore. This is why when people is looking for major issues, they don't look to the so-called Negroes. Because see, if you're void of understanding, you don't have a nationality, you don't have a government, you don't have your own school system. See, you don't do anything in the earth. This is why they said that the so-called black man is a savage that live in the jungle of a subhuman level. It's because he don't control anything. See? And how can he control anything if he's void of understanding? So it says, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. But the wounds and bruises of putrefying sores, they have not been healed. It says they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mummified with ointment. See, because when you have a sore, or you have something that's dealing with, you have a cut or anything, you have a sore, you put ointment on the sore so that you could do what? Try to heal the sore. But if the body is messed up, it's going to be hard for the sore to close. So what is the sore of the so-called black man? What is the sore? The sore is slavery. See, the sore of today is slavery. The sore of today is racism. See, the sore of today is we're void of nationality. The sore of today is crime and disrespect in the streets. That's what the sore is. And it's not going to be closed until we address those situations, see? In the 1960s and the 1970s, it was outlawed for the man to be in the house with his woman. See, that's a sore. And as a result of that, we got a lot of kids out here. They are void of, they don't have parents. They don't have structure at home. The woman is running everything. See, that's a sore. And it's not going to close until what? Until the so-called black man, which is the natural and spiritual seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to stand up and to proclaim himself as what? The spokesman of the Creator. This is what the Creator is telling our people. But our people don't want to understand that is because, see, we so caught up in January. We so caught up in Christmas. See? And see, another sore is the fact that our people can still be killed in this country, and then we still going to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, right, in this country. This is how hypocritical our people is. And we're going to continue to be hypocritical until we return back to the Creator. See, this is a mandate from the Creator to do what? To return back to the Creator for death and destruction take hold on us. See, how many people on the face of this planet? It's over 6 or 7 billion people on the face of this planet. At the end of this Third World War, it's only going to be 100,000. Russia and China and the rest of these other European descended nations, they got nuclear weapons pointed at this country. And America got their weapons pointed at the country. See? They're not building bombs. They're not doing all this stuff for show. See? The people is going to go to war again. See? And when we get into a war spirit, even if we're not in a war spirit, we're going to be ushered into the Third World War. See, look at our people. Walk around with their pants hanging off their behind. See? They don't have no respect. But then they want somebody to respect them in the public. See? A lot of these folks, 6 billion people, is going to be ushered into the Third World War, and there's only going to be a handful of people that's going to be left over. And mainly the people that's going to be left over is the nation of Israel, see? if Barack Obama was standing right here, it'd be a whole crowd of people standing right here. See, if Donald Trump was standing right here talking, it'd be a whole group. See, these people that's walking, they'll stop what they doing to see what Donald Trump, Barack Obama, or any of these Luciferian presidents got to say. See, but see, in the scripture it says what? When the rich man speak, everybody holds their tongue. But when the poor man speak, they think to do what? Overthrow him. See? That's the mentality of the masses of people. When people can't deal with the truth, then what? They seek to come against you and overthrow you. But see, it's going to be a coming time, and it's already happening, that people is not going to really care about what the masses got to say, even if it costs us our lives. Because see, the job of an anointed one of the Creator, we supposed to tell the truth regardless of what people got to say. See, regardless of what people, it may cost us our life. See, and this is what people don't understand. But see, before you can even do that, you got to do what? You gotta become a living sacrifice. See, you can't still be a part of the world talking about you following the Creator. See, that's not gonna do it, because serving man and serving mammon, you can't do it. You either gonna serve one or you gonna hate the other. So it says, and from the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land strangers devour it in your presence. See, the people that's over there today is not the nation of Israel. The people that's over here today is not the nation of Israel. See, they heathens. See, and they have destroyed the land. See, they have destroyed the land. And how did they destroy it? Because they brought in false gods, and there's always war in the country. It's because you got two heathens fighting over supremacy on who is the nation of Israel, and they're saying that they Israel. See? And it's being devoured in our presence, because see, we can't even go over there and set up shop. Is because why? We're not considered Jews, but see, the Jews of the Bible, the Israelites of the Bible never practiced Judaism. See, they never practiced Judaism. They never practiced Islam. See, all this stuff is what? This is nothing but the trick of the adversary, man. Like I say, if I was Michael Jordan standing out here bringing out a new pair of gym shoes, it's gonna be 10,000 people. They're gonna stop doing what they're doing, and they're gonna come see what I gotta say. Because what? Because I got gym shoes. See, this is the mentality of the people. See, they don't care about nothing. And see, a lot of these folks out here that's walking day to day with their nose up high, they're gonna be destroyed, man. They're gonna be destroyed. See, they're not even ready for what's finna happen. They're not ready. See, because their bellies is full. They full. They not hungry. See, when you hungry, see, hunger brings forth another type of spirit. A lot of these folks out here, they doing all type of stuff, man. They're not worried about the Creator. See, they only worry about the Creator when it's death and destruction. But when death and destruction come, what's going to happen? A lot of people, the Creator going to tell them in their mindset, I never knew you, see? So we out here fishing today, see? We're going to see how many fish we going to catch. See, sometimes when you go out and fishing takes, it's a strategy. See, you got to get bait, see? You got to get bait so you can catch a fish. You got to get worms. You got to get all these different type of hooks in order to catch fish. See? So we trying to see how many fish that we're going to catch today of the so-called Negro community to understand who they are from a nationalistic standpoint of view. So it says, your country is desolate, Your cities are burned with fire. Your land strangers devour in your presence. And it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. The land of the so-called black man is overthrown by strangers, y'all. See, we're not in our country. If the liberals the Democrats and the Republicans, if they really cared about the so-called black man, they will put them in their own land, see? They will provide them with information so they can be able to thrive in their own land, see? But they haven't done that. Ever since 1865, we've been looking for freedom in this country, but we haven't found it yet because, see, you're not going to find it. True freedom is when a man able to own his own country, his own land, have his own flag, see? Let's look. It says, and the daughters of Zion is left as a cottage and a vineyard as a lodge in the garden of cucumbers as a besieged city. And see, that's what's wrong with the people today, see? We live like a lodge, like cucumbers in a besieged city. See? See, look at us, man. We talk about the new year, but the new year starts in April. New year ain't even in January. Everything is dead in January. Huh? It says, except the Most High, Most have left unto us a very small remnant. Jesus, you got some food in there, Kobe?
In the name of his son, Jesus.
No, ain't not nothing else for you, Bob.
No, he asked you, but he said he got some food. He was hungry.
No, I don't got no food.
What he got is the word of God. That's food there, but I got some candy, man. I told you I'd get you something to eat, my brother.
It says, except Yahowah had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been as like unto Gomorrah.
Yep.
Hear the word of Yah. Ye rulers of Solomon, give ear unto the law of Elohim, ye peoples of Gomorrah. See? And that's what's wrong with our people, man. That's what's wrong with our people. See, we like Sodom and Gomorrah. We destroyed as a people, man. Here it is, a young man like that, a young man. He don't even have a job to take care of himself. It says, what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifice unto me, saith the Most High? I am full of burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts. And I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of he-goats. See? But that's what our ancestors was doing. See? They thought every time that they sacrificed that the Creator was going that he was going to forgive their sin. See? But at some point, we're going to have to pay for that. And this is what we're paying for. We're paying for that. Look at our women today. See, our women today is destroyed. The man today is destroyed. The women today, only fans. Our women today is destroyed. See, they don't take care of the children. The men don't take care of the children. That's because we don't understand who we are as a people. What happens on December the 25th? We sacrificing our kids to the God of what? Moloch, see? And we talking about all this racism in the country. We ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites, man. How you gonna talk about racism, but you still practicing the slave master's religion? How you gonna talk about racism? How you gonna talk about Donald Trump and Joe Biden is just as he's just as racist as Donald Trump? Then we got these stupid liberals that's on television promoting all this nonsense on TV. They don't even talk about news anymore. Current events, what's going on in the world. See, everything about the news today is from their own vantage point, their own point of view. Still talking about Still talking about the civil rights movement. See, the civil rights movement was a success. What did it do? It allowed the so-called white man to hide from his racism. See, that's what it did. And the so-called black man helped him do that. It didn't bring no jobs to the community. It didn't allow us to take control over our community, economics, education, leadership, and health. We didn't do that. We're still repeating the same cycle that our ancestors did 1,000 years ago. So January 2022 is 2,022 years that we've been in slavery. See, when are we going to come out of slavery? It says, hear the word, it says, hear the word of Yah, ye rulers of Solomon, give ear unto the law of Yah, ye people of Gomorrah. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith the Most High? I am full of burnt offerings of rams, and the fat of fed beasts. And I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or the lambs, or the he-goats. See? The Creator ain't requiring it then, and the Creator ain't requiring it now. See? It's because we was hypocritical when we were sacrificing to the Creator. And we still do it today. But our sacrifices is unto these false gods, see? When ye come to, it says, and when ye come to appear before me, who have required this at your hands to tread upon my courts? Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and the Sabbath, the calling of assemblies cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solid meeting, see? So what new moons are we dealing with today? The new moon that we're dealing with today is Christmas. The new moon that we're dealing with today is January the 1st. The new moons that we're dealing with today is Easter. See? Even when we was keeping the feast days in the land, we wasn't even keeping it in the righteous sense, because we have always had a love affair with the heathens. See? This is why we don't have no country. This is why our country is invaded by strangers. This is why our households is broken up. It says, your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. See, and what was the new moons that we was dealing with? See, we was following the Babylonian mystery system. See? We was following the Babylonian mystery system back then, and we still doing it today. We still doing it today. See, when we came out of Egypt, and we was building the golden calf, what is that symbolic of? It was the worship system of the sun god, see? And we still deal with that even to this day. We worship the moon, the stars, the planets. But all out of those are what? Materialism that was created by the Creator. It says, and when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood, see? And our hands are still full of blood. See, we hypocrites, man. We talk about racism in the country, but we just as racist towards each other. Ain't no unity in the black community, the so-called black community. We kill one another. We sell drugs to one another. That's what we do. So how are we racist when we still doing the same thing? Then we want to turn around and pray to the Creator. We We praying over abominable food. See? Crab, shrimp, and lobster. Let's read that scripture again. It says, and when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. See? When Aaron Donner was getting choked out in the street, the Creator ain't hear him. You know why? It's because why? We sell garbage to each other, man. Cigarettes ain't nothing but death and destruction to our people. So what's the righteousness in that? We kill one another in the street. See, we don't have respect for the elders. Everything is a joke to us, see? We the biggest clowns on the earth. And this is why when we praying, the Creator don't hear us. Because all our prayers is in what? It's in vain. See, our prayers in vain. See, when we pray to the Creator, He's not hearing us, see? But a lot of you cats that walk past, man, you marked for death, man. Because the only ones that's going to make it is the seal. Learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow. See, who's judging the fatherless? Who's judging the widow? See? Do we care about the widows in our communities? No, we don't care about them. See, we look down on our people. This is why when this Third World War happened, a lot of these so-called Negroes, they're going to think that from a religious standpoint of view, a political and a social, they're going to think that they're fighting for something righteous, and they're going to be fighting for something that is not unrighteous, and they're going to be put to death, man. That's why we got to come out here and fish, man. It says, come now, let us reason together, saith Yah. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. See, this was the Creator pleading with our ancestors, man. Right? To do righteousness and judgment in the earth. And our ancestors, see, they rebelled against that. See, this is why we flaggers. See, this is why we don't have no nationality. This is why we're fighting for a country that has never showed any respect to us as a people. This is why when we pray to the Creator don't hear us. It says, if ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of Yah has spoken it. See, and ain't we devoured? We devoured as a people, man. We devoured with the sword. See, they didn't bring no niggas to America. They brought the natural and the spiritual seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See? We devoured as a people. We following false customs. See? We being hypocritical with ourselves, man. We're not even really looking at ourselves in the mirror. See, before you can change the world, you gotta first look at yourself in the mirror. See, we like who we see in the mirror. This is why there's no change in our communities. We don't have no communities. This is why we can't go back to our country. This is why we flag. This is why we don't have no proper leadership, because we're not looking at ourselves in the mirror. We love the decrepit look that we see in the mirror. We think that that's functional. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. Slavery was a sword that devoured us. For the mouth of God has spoken it. But it is the faithful city. It says, how is the faithful city become a harlot? It's full of judgment and righteousness lies in it, but now murderers. See? That's what we was doing in the land. That's what we was doing in our land. See, we was fighting against each other. We was murdering each other. That's why so-called Black Lives Matter, it don't matter today. It didn't matter when we was in our own country, and it don't matter now. Let's read that again. It says, how's the faithful city becoming harlot? It is full of judgment, righteousness lies in it, but now murder. See? At some point, we was a righteous nation. What happened to the so-called Negro? We're not a righteous nation anymore. We're murderers, see? We sell drugs in our community. We kill our own kids. We kidnap our nephews. See? So-called black woman, she disrespects the so-called black man. She don't have no respect for her husband. She dress any type of way. See? We murdering our children. That's what we doing. Whether it's spiritually or physically. That's what we doing. We killing our kids. Thy silver become dross, and thy wine mixed with water. Thy princes are rebellious, and companions of thieves. And everyone loveth gifts, and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. See? That's the mentality of our people. See, we're not judging the widow. We're not looking out for the widow. We're not judging the fatherless. And as a result of that, we destroyed as a people. We worry about selling things out in the street, see? The greatest thing that we can sell is the word of the Creator, man. But we don't even know the Creator. People talking about Jesus. Bring no more. No, that's the wrong. It says, thy princes, therefore saith Yah, the power of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, all. I will ease me of my adversaries and avenge me of my enemies. And I will turn my hand upon thee and purge away thy dross and take away all thy tan. And what is that? That's rust. See? Our people is for, see, when you call yourself an African American, a Negro, colored, coon, and shine, what's that? You full of dross, man. You full of rust. See? You full of tin. How the Creator's gonna clean that? You gotta take on His spirit. Then the Creator start the process of cleaning you, see? Because if you have a rusty piece of chain, you put it in solution, it takes a while to clean it. But eventually, it's going to get refurbished. And how is the so-called black man going to be refurbished? See, he first has to understand who he is from a nationalistic standpoint of view, and he has to understand who his God is, see? And he has to understand why he's in the predicament that he's in, see? Why we don't have no land? Why we don't have a country? Why we don't have a flag? Why we not sovereigns? Why we some of the biggest entertainers in the world, and some of the greatest thinkers, but we don't run nothing? That's because we full of dross and we rusty tin. See. How is it that we got all these master's degrees, these bachelor's degrees? We're teachers in some of the finest schools, but here it is, we're unable to lead nations. It's because we're still rusty. Because we still want to follow the gods of the other nations. And we're going to continue to be rust until what? Until we step up and take on the responsibility that has been bestowed on us. See, so-called Negro, man, is interesting. See, he don't even understand that.
Can you hold that door, man?
His whole, the world is waiting on him to civilize the world, man. That's what the world is waiting on. The world is waiting on us to civilize the whole world, but see, we're not civilized ourselves. On a low level, we play basketball. We read books. We talk about philosophy, and everybody wants to come and do what? Talk to the so-called Negro. See, but we don't think on the high level.
Clean up the shit. I saw shit here.
See?
No, it's just piss. But today they left the pile of shit right by the.
It says, thy silver has become dross, and thy wine mixed with water. Thy princes are rebellious, and companion of thieves. Everyone loveth gifts, and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doeth the cause of the widow come unto them. See, we don't care about our people, man. Therefore saith Yah, the power of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of my adversaries and avenge me of my enemies. And I will turn my hand upon thee, and thoroughly purge away thy dross, and take away thy tin, and I will destroy thy judges as the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. And see, that mentality, that's going to come, see? That's going to come, see? But it's going to come to a few of us, because a few is going to become a mighty nation. That's what the few is going to become. The few is going to become a mighty nation, and the nation is going to do what? They're going to teach, and they're going to lead the other nations. So this is just my quick little, because see, we're going to be fishing, man. We're going to start fishing. We're going on trains. We're going on buses. We're going everywhere. We're going to fish for the elect, man. So with that being said, peace, shalom.